Before we start today's video, check out our merch shop, linked in the description down below. Use code Ahsoka in all caps to get $7 off your order. May the Force be with you, and enjoy the vid.
Hello there.
This is where the fun begins.
What's up guys, Unofficial Star Wars here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we have an unfortunate news update for ANDOR Season 2, as it was being expected to come out sometime next year in 2024. That there seems to unfortunately no longer be the case. Nonetheless though, the year for Star Wars in 2024 next year still looks to be a jam-packed, action-packed year for Star Wars content in the streaming world of things there as well. We're also fingers crossing and anticipating some official announcements into the regards of just what they have for their movies, but also just like as an overview for what they have in store for the next couple of years as well. Because believe it or not, at this point, just about all of their projects that were announced back in December of 2020, nearly 3 years ago, have kind of actually come to fruition and actually have happened now at this point. Although that doesn't mean that there's any stopping for what's to come for Star Wars content, there's still plenty of things to look forward to. Especially with ANDOR Season 2, its second and its final season, unfortunately, seems to look for a new release date instead of coming out next year in 2024. This seems to be due to multiple things from the past year of this year, most of which actually is due to the Hollywood strikes with the writers and with the actors that had halted just about everything in the Hollywood industry. In this video, we are going to be taking a quick read from IGN.com. I'll have their article linked in the description down below into the regards of what they say in their full report. Before we do, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. We're discussing and covering all types of Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel, so if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and join us on the channel today by grabbing that subscribe button. ANDOR Season 2 will no longer be premiering, and it's kind of what we were seeing for an August 2024 release date. This is something that was kind of just bluntly thrown out there by Tony Gilroy, the show writer, director, showrunner overall. I love how open he is about giving us updates into the regards of all of his projects, not just for Star Wars, but also for whatever else he may have in the works. He's honestly one of our #1 sources when it does come to getting new Star Wars teases or anything of that nature, like what we're anticipating for the next season of ANDOR. I also mentioned that ANDOR Season 2 is its final season. It is unfortunate because the overall show was conceived to have around 4 to 5 seasons originally, each season taking place about a year closer to the events of the Rogue One movie, but many of the cast and crew members said that they didn't want to do that much, and that instead they would rather stick with 2 seasons. Season 2 of ANDOR is going to cover roughly around 4 years and lead right into the events of the Rogue One Star Wars movie as well. Disney and Lucasfilm have not included it in their schedule for the next year for ANDOR Season 2 when putting out an official slate kind of overview. This isn't like an official announcement like for the public, but this is something that we are able to see. So we don't necessarily have this 110% confirmed necessarily by Disney and Lucasfilm, but it is looking very much likely that this is going to be the case and that they are going to have it pushed back until 2025 instead. Disney's list of both films and shows premiering in 2024 include those with specific dates and those without even, but ANDOR is absent from both of those lists. Mind you, I mentioned movies there. That's for an overview of like Disney movies, not for Star Wars movies. We're not anticipating any Star Wars movies, unfortunately, for 2024 releasing. Although there, as I had mentioned, there is plenty of other Star Wars Disney Plus projects to look forward in the new year. Star Wars is otherwise quite present with The Acolyte, Skeleton Crew, The Bad Batch's Season 3 and final season, and Tales of the Jedi Season 2. We're also getting a new Star Wars game, that there being Star Wars Outlaws. These have been all listed with vague 2024 release windows, and by which something that I will be discussing in a separate future video here on the channel in more detail and in more depth into the regards of just about everything that we know for what's coming up in Star Wars for the new year of 2024. It's all the more reason to grab that subscribe button if you haven't already. And so, ANDOR Season 2's August 2024 premiere was announced at Star Wars Celebration in April, officially this year of 2023. But as I had mentioned, both the Screen Actors Guild, American Federation of Television and Radio Artists, the SAG-AFTRA, and the Writers Guild of America had both gone on strike, likely pushing it back. It seems to be the case. It pushed a lot of things back in the Hollywood industry, but it was for a good cause. Its team was active on the picket lines, with writer Bua William even starting a one-way out out kind of chant going on in New York City to mimic the show of Andor, which is so dang cool. Andor Season 2 as well, from what we had heard, is that it was just about done with its filming process and its overall production process, just about before the Hollywood strikes had taken over and they were kind of forced to shut down. From what I had heard is that they were actually in it for a minute, got a bit foggy and a bit confusing, that they were actually using some of their non-union actors to be filming like in the United Kingdom while the strikes were really beginning to take off in its first couple of weeks. And then since then they kind of decided the right thing to do, especially Tony Gilroy took that charge and say, okay, let's shut it down, let's support these strikes. So into the regards of its filming process and its overall production status, is that I had heard is that they just about finished, but not necessarily, and that they still had a couple of weeks to go, and it is anticipated is that they'll pick back up with Andor Season 2, its overall filming, production, and completely wrapping the show, also including any of its other reshoots and its overall principle of photography, just as an overview as well, in the new year of 2024, and kind of pick it back up from there, enjoy the holiday season there as well. This seems to be something that a lot of both shows, movies, and everything in between seem to be doing in the Hollywood industry as of right now, unless you're talking Deadpool 3, of by which if you're a Marvel fan, we have our Marvel channel linked in the description down below. That has actually been fast-tracked to begin its production a couple of weeks ago already, or resume its production, and well, yeah, this is an Andor and a Star Wars channel, not Marvel. Anyway, the second season of the Diego Luna starring show, which will connect the dots between Season 1 and Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope prequel, Rogue One, was reportedly just weeks away from completing its production before the strikes began. Disney hasn't shared as of to why the show will no longer be premiering in 2024, but I think that there's a couple of reasons digging into it, of by which I think the two most prominent ones, for one being the Hollywood strikes as I had mentioned, and for the other is that they already have quite a jam-packed year for the new year for Star Wars content releasing on their Disney Plus streaming service, and they want to space it out a little bit more, pun intended. Anyway, Star Wars fans still have plenty to dig into, of course, as the aforementioned other 4 shows will all be premiering next year. Despite not having specific dates, we're anticipating them all to be released sometime next year. The Acolyte is a High Republic show in an era set around 200 years before the events of Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and tells the story of a young Sith instead of a young Jedi. Skeleton Crew, meanwhile, is a Jude Law-led show inspired by the Goonies in the 80s, in which must be traveled across the galaxy while protecting a group of children. It's often been described by the cast and crew members as a quote-unquote Star Wars Stranger Things in space, essentially. On the animation front, though, however, The Bad Batch Season 3 will end the Clone Wars spin-off with its third and final season, while Tales of the Jedi Season 2 will continue the biopic series, which featured Ahsoka and Count Dooku in Season 1, and is anticipated and expected to take on new stories in the second season. This year all being said, guys, I would love to hear all of your thoughts and opinions and theories in the comment section down below. What are you guys looking forward to seeing most in the new year of 2024? What are you guys looking forward to seeing with Andor Season 2? Of course, as I had also mentioned, we'll continue to keep you guys updated with Andor Season 2. Not just that, but all types of other Star Wars related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel. So if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and grab that subscribe button today. Thanks so much for watching today's video. Of course, this has been an official Star Wars. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one, guys. May the Force be with you as always. Peace out.